Welcome everybody, again, to the Capgemini Intelligent Industry stage. We're here at day 2, and we continue to move along with the panels, and the excitement, it continues to grow, I can tell, from this crowd out here, right? Thank you. This next session, we're actually going to talk about, we're going to dig into the AI book, Reimagined Through AI. It's a panel discussion where I'm actually going to start off by introducing the host of that session, Daniel Garshigan. Could you help me on stage? Thank you, Daniel.
Thanks, Anthony. Hey everyone, it's so good to see you all. I'm super excited to have that session now. I mean, AI is everywhere, and now we really want to shine the light on how to really implement that. What are maybe some common pitfalls? And I couldn't be more excited to have our guests on stage with me for that exciting topic. And I'm more than happy to welcome Mats Hultin on stage, who is Group CIO of Ericsson. I will have also Jeroen van der Vlucht, who is the CIO for the Ministry of Defense in the Netherlands, and our very own Annie Agarwal. Happy to have you on stage. Please give them a warm welcome.
Okay.
So Anthony already gave in his intro a short info about that, hey, there's a new book coming for AI and how to implement it. And while there are many, many books already written about AI and what's so good about it and what to do with it, still I want to know from you guys, Anil and Mats, who are the co-authors of that book, what has been your motivation about writing, and I'm being a bit provocative here, yet another book on AI? Anil.
It is not provocative at all. So in general, there is a sense that European businesses are lagging behind their counterparts in US or China when it comes to leveraging AI. So through this book, we wanted to highlight European examples of how these organizations are creating business value by leveraging AI. We have interviewed more than 20 CXOs across different industry segments. So you will find those examples, those case studies in this book. And the biggest motivation of all was I called Mats, and when Mats agreed, CIO of one of the most innovative high-tech company in Europe, I just couldn't let go of the opportunity.
No, and I think we had a good discussion. We've both been in the digitalizing enterprises production for many years, and we really thought that automation and AI has been there, but now Gen AI comes as a boom. Still early phases, we recognize that, but we really want to take the most early adopters and try to really match learnings from early adopting into the theory and what we see coming up and package that in a good way. So I think that's been the challenge. So hopefully we've succeeded, we'll see.
Thank you both. And Jeroen, while not being a co-author of that book, nevertheless, of course, AI and innovation in a broader space plays a crucial role for you as well, in the defense space for the MOD in the Netherlands. So what's your perspective on that? How important is AI in your segment, and how does that fit to the broader picture of anything around technology and innovation within the Ministry of Defense in the Netherlands?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. And you always have to look at the news. Then you see all the AI systems over there. And you see that, for instance, in autonomous systems, you see that in targeting systems and so on. So it's really out there already in the military. And I think we are trying to adopt that as best as we can currently. So I think it's very important not to do it as a total, so we will implement everything about AI, but just to focus on a few applications. I think that's very important. So in the Netherlands, the MOD is focusing on autonomous systems. It's focusing on intelligence, so seeing patterns in all kinds of information, for instance. We're also looking at command and control, which is very important, the speeding up the targeting process. And last but not least, we also use it, for instance, in logistics. So these are the 4 main areas we are focusing on.
Thank you. And you mentioned areas already. We see, if we walk around the halls here, so many different use cases that are being applied. And I mean, we all work in that space somewhere or the other. And I think we have all seen so many use cases and proof of concepts coming to life over the last couple of months and years. And what I find important to also see, many did not really scale. And looking also, Anil, to your direction, I mean, you are in contact with so many of our clients. What's the reason, and what can we do about it? How can we actually scale it?
So this is indeed right. as per one recent survey, 74% of organizations are not able to see business value from their AI use cases. So you really are not seeing business value coming out of it. Now, what is the difference between the leaders and not so advanced organization when it comes to AI leverage? The leaders are strategically investing in high priority areas. Okay, I'll give you an example. We interviewed Aker BP. It's the largest independent oil and gas producer in Norwegian shelf. They're making a 20 billion euro investment. It's the largest offshore platform, and they're going to have it completely unmanned. Okay, so no longer, you will have crew for extraction and preventive maintenance, and they're doing it by investing, the strategic investment in high priority area. So that's what's making the difference for the leaders in getting business value out of it.
Matt?
Yeah, and I think when you look at how we have digitalized and how we have looked at things the last 10 years, I think a lot of it has been really to take an existing processes and augment with some digital solution. It's not really being a digital transformation end to end. And that's why a lot of CEOs has been a bit they've been hoping that digitalization would do that, but instead we have built capabilities, and those has been needed now. But now I think it's a time when companies start to look end to end, and Gen AI and AI has the capability of doing that. But still, to scale it, you need to take an end-to-end holistic view across the company on those processes, and not just pitch in some technology, but rather think through your whole process landscape. And that is a huge task for every company. But I think it's coming, and that will help scalability heavily.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. And Jeroen, maybe for you it's even more challenging, I would assume, being in the defense sector. I mean, we talk about security, compliance, and all those important topics. So how do you tackle that? How do you make sure that it's not just one use case within one department of the MOD, but how do you scale it across the entire organization, basically?
Yeah, that's a really difficult task, of course, because in the military, you usually don't like to buy technology. They don't like to buy information technology, especially. They like to buy Navy vessels, they like to buy tanks, they like to buy jet fighters, and so on and so on. So when we have more money in the defense, what we are having right now, we have the discussion, well, should we invest this in the traditional defense, or should we invest it in modern technology? And I think it's very important to embed that the future of war, so the concept of the future of war, is established by the military. That's very important, and that digitalization plays an important role in that. So I think that's the first step. You should be able to get it on the highest deck on your organization. Secondly, you need, besides an AI strategy, also a digital transformation strategy, because you have to do more than only addressing that great AI technology within your organization. This is a broader perspective. And last but not least, you should also decentralize that. Military organizations tend to be quite centralized governed. And what we saw is that digitalization, it's needed that you have a decentralized framework that you can achieve the results. So closer to the really warfighter. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And let's look a bit ahead. So we have learned now what is important to scale, and I think what I find very important as well, or maybe even more important is, or it's likewise important, how do we make sure that we really reap the benefits from AI and Gen AI when we roll that out? And I think within your book, you also talk about that, and kind of like also brought kind of like a transformation roadmap with some success factors, what we need to do to actually really get that out of what we're implementing, what we want to get out, to really get the benefits. And Anil, maybe a couple of words about that.
Yeah, so I think what Matt was also referring to about end-to-end, looking at the business from end-to-end process perspective, capabilities perspective, and then Jeroen, you mentioned about decentralization as well. What we see is, if you want to scale up, get real business value out of AI, you need to invest in 6 enterprise capabilities. First and foremost, you need to have a business-led AI roadmap, okay? It cannot be a technology-driven initiative. There has to be a buy-in from CXO, C-suite, on your vision, on value, on your AI roadmap. And I think the organizations are getting help because they went through digital transformation journey where you had similar requirement. And I was very happy to see when we were interviewing these organizations in Europe, Equinor in Norway, Kuehne+Nagel in Germany, almost all of them had their AI strategy which was anchored with the CXOs of their organization. So that's one area. You need to invest in delivery capabilities. Okay, you need to invest in data. You need to invest in talent. Okay, that's very important. You need to invest in tech foundation. You need to invest in operating model. And regarding operating model, what we saw is most of the organizations are adopting hub and spoke, a decentralized operating model. They are not saying, listen, AI, IT is going to, or technology is going to run AI for us. Okay, they are keeping some of the things centralized, okay, but rest they are putting it back into the business. And the third area, which is very important, is change management, okay, for adoption as well as scalability. So that these 6 areas in terms of enterprise capabilities are very, very important.
Mats, from your perspective, what do you find the most important parts of such a transformation?
Yeah, first of all, I really see the need of all of these and to find the right structure in your company. But there is 2 that I think every company needs to put extra focus on as a company. And I'll tell you why. It's the active change management and the data management. You cannot outsource that. You need to do it internally. You need to find the right people to drive and engage it. And when you start scratching the surface of those 2, you will see how much things you need to do to really do it. A lot of the other things will come through technology providers, system integrator partners, and everything else. But those 2, you need to double down. Every company needs to do that. And I also see in our history, those 2 has been where we have successful scalability, we've been good at those 2. Where we have unsuccessful scalability, it's usually one of those 2 has failed.
Thank you. And so if we, again, look even a bit more ahead, 2025, we have 1 quarter done already. And so many things are happening, right? So we have advancements every day. If you go online and maybe even use ChatGPT to get me the latest info about AI, you'll get it something else every day. So it's even harder for managers, for CIOs to know really where to focus on from a functional domain perspective, but also from a what do I need to do to be successful in my transformation perspective. So Anil, maybe you'll start that. So, what do you see is happening? What is the most important things to focus on if we look to the next couple of months ahead?
So, business value creation is what the ultimate aim and ambition is. And what organizations are realizing is that majority of the business value is coming from core business processes. Okay, it's your production, your operations, your sales and marketing, and remaining comes from support functions. So so real business value actually comes from core business functions. I'll give you an example. IKEA, I was talking to CDO of IKEA, and one of the use cases that they have gained great benefit is from home planner platform. 25% of IKEA's 40 billion euro sale is kitchen, okay? And in the old times, a customer would go sit down with a home planner and design the kitchen, but now, they can use AI and they feed in the requirement and they get the designs without help of an interior architect. And not only one suggestion, okay, they can get multiples and multiples of suggestions in a fairly short period of time. So 25% of their revenue can be significantly influenced by leveraging AI. So that's where the business value lies.
Yeah, so understand the business value and then make the right, let's say, selection. Mats, from your perspective, also at Ericsson, where to focus on in the next couple of months?
We are focusing from a top-down perspective in 3 areas where we think we have the most value in the short to mid-term. Software engineering and everything around coding buddies, we see a huge potential. We are a huge software shop, 28,000 software engineers. So when we scale the coding buddies together with software engineering, we think that that could help us heavily on our business transformation. Secondly, the area where we already are fully into is content creation. Everything in learning development, educational perspective, marketing materials, we already see a huge support in Gen AI. And thirdly, everything when it comes to customer support and support. We have a lot of bots already, but we can see all of those bots can move into more agentic type of AI, being more intelligent, and we can get a lot of cost efficiency into our digital operations. So I would say these are the three areas where we are doubling down from top down. With that said, I think you need to continue to try, learn, and do small POCs as well. So top down shouldn't be the only view. I think you need to do both top down and bottom up.
And when we talk about also use cases and the applications, what I find so interesting in talking to you, Jeroen, is when we look back, when so many technology developments, where they come from the defense sector. And I think we now call it the dual use cases of our applications. So maybe give us a few words about that, why is this so important, and how are you tackling those dual use cases that will have an applicability for both public defense sector, but also then for the private sector. The internet as being maybe the most prominent example.
Yeah, you see that in the past we developed military solutions specifically for the military. And then you got innovation outside of that and it went into society. And what you now see is that we don't have that anymore. So you see those modern technologies like AI, for instance, but also quantum, are coming from the marketplace, are coming from commercial companies. And that poses us for a situation where we have to deal with that and try to see if we can use all these kinds of technologies together. And I think that's a new situation also for the military, and that's what we call proliferation. So the proliferation is quite easy. So it's not only easy for Western governments, Western armies to adopt these kinds of technologies, but it's also for all kinds of other organizations very easy to adopt those technologies. For instance, criminal organizations, but also at first state, for instance, adversaries. You see that they're also getting in. So it's very keen to invest on these technologies within your own MOD, so Ministry of Defense. So that's very important. To have the knowledge and to have the skills, to have the own computing environment. So I mean, that's really the groundwork, but also really focus, for instance, on data governance. And I think that's a thing that's always mistaken, that it takes you probably 70-80% in the dull and dirty work regarding AI before getting the benefits out of it. So really you have to focus on the groundworks when adopting those new technologies. And it is there, and we have to use it, because if we don't use it, our adversaries will use it. So yeah, that's where we are.
Okay, yeah, thank you. And so I hope you already learned a bit in the audience about what we need to do to really reimagine AI and really use that for benefits across different sectors, different applications, different use cases, in a really scaled way. But I don't want to leave you off the stage without one last question. And this is really coming from, we all use AI in our daily lives, being it in our personal life, in our business life. And I want to get a bit of a prediction from you. So let's imagine end of 2025, Christmas is already almost there. How do you think you are going to use AI in your private, but also in your business life then? Mats, maybe you want to start. What do you think is going to happen?
For me, I don't code that much any longer, so it's more the different variants of Copilots from Microsoft. I use different Copilots. Copilots for sales, I've been testing a bit, but also I use the Copilot in Teams and everything. So we run all my meetings internally with the Copilot included to take notes and sort of and summarize things. I think I will use it more and more for different type of shaping presentations, getting started with a lot of activities. Then I think you need to add the personal touch on a lot of it. But using the different Copilots to really, and similar variants, to really make you do more with less. And those starting hours, when you're thinking through where should I start on this task, you can get a lot of good help just getting a structure, and then you can go in and alter and change and make it work. That I already do, and I think I will do more.
So make your life really easier then?
Hopefully,
that
we'll
sounds
see.
Promising. Jeroen, what do you expect?
Yeah, I've one slogan. It's also on my LinkedIn profile, so it's no secret. And the slogan is "Let tech fight, not people." And I think that's a great takeaway.
Yeah, thank you, Jeroen. And then Anil, last but not least, what do you expect?
I'm already answering all my non-serious emails using Copilot. So it would be good to be able to respond to most of the emails through Copilot and do presentations. Presentations are still not there, so that would be nice to be able to do that.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thanks for listening. Thank you, Jeroen. Thank you, Mats. Thank you, Anil. Thank you, everyone.
All right,
All right,
thank you.
thank you so much.